Hi, folks. This is Rick Amateur Triumph.
This is Mark Merrill, also known as Johnny B. Bad.
Hi, this is a best-selling author. I threw the best-selling in there. Best-selling author Dick Wybrow.
I'm Melanie from Second Shooter.
This is Jeff with Second Shooter.
Hey everybody, it's Brian Allen from Bridges of Blaze.
Hey, this is Sammy Lee, drummer of the band Red Rain.
Yo guys, it's Mark McKay.
Hey, this is Frank Fletcher.
Hola amigos, this is Billy Sheehan.
Hey guys, this is John Karabi.
What's up everybody, it's Logan from All the Pretty Things.
Hey guys, it's Leather Leone.
What's up guys, Cassandra Carson here from Paralandra and the Life Project.
This is Kathy from Music and More Records.
My name's Reggie and you are listening to the Weekly Pour podcast. Thanks so much for joining the most amazing twosome out there.
It's time once again for the Weekly Pour, the show that knows everything about absolutely nothing. Here are your hosts, TBT and Ace.
Yay! Yeah, we must applaud for ourselves.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you're in town. But, disclaimer, your Wi-Fi sucks today.
It's bad. It's bad. You just froze.
But I'm not froze, and it's weird. I don't know what's going on. I think you have sunspots over your house.
I'm going to have to strongly consider moving this studio to a better spot.
Yes, you're gonna have to move your studio to a studio.
Yeah, there's a quasi vacant room upstairs.
It's Indian?
Well, no.
Oh, you said quasi and it threw me off. See, you're froze on my side now, and that was a weird look on your face. Well, not as weird as that.
But the occupant is only here every other week.
Good call.
So I might be able to make some arrangements. Why are my eyes like that?
You're being blocked by the other 4 stories of your mansion that's not allowing the signal to get down to you.
The Brett Radisson?
Yes. Yeah, the Ace Inn, or the Holiday Ace. Anyway, welcome. This is the Weekly Pour podcast. I am TBT. That guy over there is Ace. This is episode 110 of the Weekly Pour podcast. Of course, we are live on YouTube and live on the Book of Face. So if you're in there, say hi on either one. Hit that like button. If you're in the YouTube, hit that thumbs up, because I'm tired of saying it every week. But yet here we are saying I'm going to say it. Normal people are in the chat room right now. If you're in there watching, be sure to say hello. Mama TBT, first and foremost, of course. Nat McFook is in there. There's a few others that aren't saying anything. But more importantly, I don't know. Guess who's back in town?
Besides me?
Yeah, we have a moderator in the chat room.
Oh, finally.
Yeah, yes. Someone has decided to put us before their family.
Because it was chaos.
Utter chaos. Yeah. And here I was thinking that maybe we were family, but I mean, whatever. Derek Palmer is also in the chat, who makes a statement. Please, no politics in a live chat. Keeps the chat respectful and civil, or you will be muted. Absolutely. We'll mute the shnikes out of people, especially if you start talking politics, because we don't know them. By the way, if you're hiring, let me know. Send me an email. Anyway, yeah. So welcome to the chat. Bunch in there. Say hi. Talk about stuff. Mr. Palmer seems a little familiar. Just saying.
I don't know. Just so everyone knows, I can't see the chat because my Wi-Fi is so bad. I had to cut it out.
Yeah. Speaking of the Wi-Fi,
might be able to pull it here on this other thing. We'll see.
Where's Mrs. Ace?
She is still with Kathy.
Oh, yes. Kathy, who we once again send our well wishes out to. Kathy Lee Gifford, apparently is what's on my brain. Kathy is still recovering from her 6th toe removal surgery.
She is up there escorting her to various appointments and errands around town. Kathy is not released to drive until Saturday. So,
like in a few days.
Right. I have been rudderless ever since.
Can you efficiently drive with a missing toe?
You're going to make her so mad.
I know. Inquiring minds want to know. I'm just curious. Does that make her vehicle a towboat?
She told me after the broadcast last week that she was going to take her sixth toe and shove it up your
ass. Say it.
Yeah, you're behind.
My sphincter. That's good. Hey, remember when I had a colonoscopy?
Yeah, well, I wasn't there, but yeah, you talked about it.
Remember when we talked about that?
Yeah.
Remember we talked about the prep work and everything that goes into that and the results of said prep work?
Right.
Yeah, I found something that works even better.
Oh, yeah?
Spoiled turkey burger.
Okay. Glad to know.
Yeah, add that to the list of the dumb things that TBT has done.
So what happened?
So I thawed out some turkey burger, decided that day, I don't want it. So I put it in the refrigerator where it's supposed to go if you thaw something out and decide not to eat it. So I put it in the fridge. 4 days later, Mrs. TBT says, you might want to cook that. And I said, yeah, you're right.
4 days?
Let's not worry about the amount of days, but yes, it was 4. So I did. I cooked it. And I put in my spices. And when I climbed up to reach into the cabinet above the stove to get said spices, I went, that smells weird. But I was like, it's just turkey. It's no big deal. That's where I made the mistake. Because I seasoned it and it was great until I ate it.
Did you cover up the rotten flavor?
There was no bad flavor. But it must have, there may have been, I don't know. I covered it with all the spices I put in it, I guess. And I ate a little bowl of it with some pasta. And within 15 minutes, I was cleansing for another colonoscopy.
That's fast acting.
Yeah. Yeah. I personally thought it was pretty shitty. Yeah.
To eat it?
I don't know what you just said because you froze and your face looks funny.
There's a rule. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
There's a rule in my house, especially if you cook something and you have something left over.
Okay.
Like 2 to 3 days, it's gone. And
fair.
Ground beef or ground turkey, you can't wait too long on that stuff. It was already heading toward expiration when you froze it.
Well, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Look, I've learned my lesson. I don't need another lesson from you about this. My butt gave me the lesson. I'm well aware of what happened. I'm disappointed because I had to throw it out, and I really like turkey. So I made another one.
Yeah.
Well, the next day, thawed it out, cooked it the same day, packed it up, and am eating it for lunch this week. So if you stop by my current office at lunchtime, I'll be enjoying turkey and eggs.
Okay.
Yeah. Compound freaking protein. Good stuff. And it's not spoiled. I had some today. Didn't poop my brains out. It's a good day.
Okay. So you cooked it in a timely manner.
Oh, yeah.
Good to go.
Yeah.
You can't mess around with that stuff.
No, and see, nobody expected to tune into this this podcast this evening to hear about rotten turkey and pooping your brains out. So you're welcome. Speaking of that, I want to say hi to Shannon because she just popped in. And look, there is Kathy. Welcome, ladies. Good to have you. We appreciate it. Be sure to hit that thumbs up. See, I'm the only one that could do that. You're not allowed to put a thumbs up because then it's all over your screen. Oh, and you did it anyway. I have got something around me making the most mysterious noise in the world, and I don't know what it is. See, there it was again. This is weird.
Okay.
It's almost
I
like
may have.
there's something sizzling. I don't know. Are you turning off?
I've shut everything down. I am such a professional that I'm so well versed in what we're going to talk about that heck with it. I don't need to look at anything.
Dude, I don't even know what we're talking about tonight.
We talked about it before the show.
Yeah, I've slept since then. How was your week, by the way? Welcome back.
This week or last week?
Whichever. I don't care about last week. What about how's this week?
This week's been great.
Really?
It's been great. The weather's beautiful.
Oh, the weather is beautiful.
My workload is relatively light right now.
Excellent.
I spent a lot of time just taking my time and driving around.
Enjoying the weather.
Yep, sure have.
Because it's stupid good right now.
It is. And yeah, I hope it stays this way for quite a while.
I looked earlier and it's going to stay that way for at least the next 10 to 12 days.
And then people will be crying because we don't have rain.
They already are. There's already people complaining. I'm not complaining because that means I'm not mowing again.
I debated, but it's not that bad.
No, I probably could, but not going to. Because you know what? If I mow and it takes a long time, I'm going to have to get more gas. And I don't want to get more gas for the mower. I'm on my last 3/4 of a tank. I do not know. This is going to freak me out. I'm going to have to call Mrs. TBT in here to try to figure out what this noise is because it's bugging me.
What's it sound like?
I don't know how to explain it. Like Darth Vader taking a very small breath. See, I said it and Mrs. TBT has showed up. It's one of these things, I think. No. If you just stand here and listen, it may be one of these little squirty things. But it sounds like Darth Vader. It goes, ah. That was a great impression. I don't know. See, she walks in here and it's all gone. Doesn't do anything anymore. Walk out because it'll happen. It may be. I don't know. I'm lost. Anyway, forget it. I'm gonna get attacked by whatever's hissing at me. Probably a snake. Don't know. Hey, I bought a plant.
Did you?
I bought a plant. So I've said stuff before to you in the summertime. We talk about those stupid gnats that fly around.
Yeah.
Well, it's gotten cooler and they've went away. So I'm like, I got to find something for next year. I've got to have something, just something to get it out of the way because I'm tired of these stupid things and I don't want to deal with them. Well, look at this bad guy. I'm going to bring it in. If you're listening, you can't see it, but if you're watching, you can see this. Look at that thing. Look at those tentacles.
What the heck is that?
I call it the octopus plant. The scientific name for it is Edemus the gnatinus. It eats gnats. Yeah, I don't know. The little red prickly things, I guess, attract gnats and like our moderator, and it will grab it and it will hold on to it. Nom 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 nom, and it eats them up. I've not been able to see it in action, but it's almost like a Venus flytrap, but it is a gnat eater. I don't know, but it's pretty cool. And you can't drown it. It says to like make it really, really wet and moist for anybody that doesn't like the word moist, and put it in the sun. So I put it in the sun and keep it moist.
And have you seen gnats?
No, that's the bonus. I haven't even seen any, so I don't know if they're just hibernating or it's working.
Well,
I don't think
it's really cool.
it's not
It's
working yet
really
because
cool.
I just got the son of a gun yesterday. But look at that.
Well,
Isn't that cool?
but it's cool what Mother Nature can do with certain things. You know,
Right.
we always fight mosquitoes in Indiana. You know, a lot of mosquitoes in the summertime, and you could spray chemicals. I spray my yard trying to fight these mosquitoes and bugs and sorts of things.
Right.
We planted certain plants in our pool area, and no mosquitoes.
What?
Yeah, they repelled the mosquitoes.
When I
These
was
certain
in
plants.
Guam, I used to burn a coconut husk, which is the outer portion of the coconut. You rip it open and then there's the coconut.
That's because you were stranded on the beach and that was your still fire.
However, it kept away mosquitoes. It was a great mosquito repellent. Didn't do so much for the
So
snakes,
all
but it kept the mosquitoes away. So if
all
you
the
have
snakes.
if you have extra coconut husks laying in your yard, grab them when they're brown and burn them. Kathy said she needs that. I'm assuming she meant the carnivorous plant. I'm telling you, get it.
Yeah, that's right up her alley. She would love that.
Kathy, I will let you know exactly what it's called so you can look one up. I couldn't find one local, had to order it. It came from the foreign land of California, and it was here within like a couple days. And when I opened the box, it was wrapped in a paper towel with all the stuff you need. You don't even have to put it into a regular pot. That's the plastic one with the holes in it, and it said keep it. So that's what it's in. I think we've BS'd enough about absolutely nothing. But hey, that's what the show's about. Right? Knowing
Nothing.
things about absolutely nothing. That's what the intro says. We shouldn't have paid that guy because that was kind of mean.
Hey, we paid him and we gave him no limitations.
No, you're correct. Nat McFick said that you can burn coffee grounds to repel mosquitoes also. I'm assuming used ones because that's a waste of the good ones. But burning them kind of stinks, don't it?
I've never heard of that.
Really? I do know that it will make your roses grow a lot. It's like the little blue pill for roses.
I do know that people in prison or jail will smoke coffee grounds.
This is correct.
And potato peelings.
Wait, smoking potato peelings?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I didn't know if you meant putting that in the okay. Yeah.
Think about that. Potato peelings.
Yeah, I would rather make vodka.
That's pretty specific.
Well, I would rather make an alcoholic beverage from potatoes.
Okay.
Okay. I figured that's a little bit better. If you've been living under a rock, then you won't know what we're talking about. Well, interrupt me. Go ahead.
Real quick. I want to tell you, I meant to, I yelled at you over the intro, but former past guest and friend of the show, Dick Whitebrow.
Yes. You remember I yelled, I love Dick.
I wanted to say, I've emailed him a little bit here and there because I am in the midst of a big edit of my latest novel and seeking some advice. And he is great. He is great to get advice from and correspond with.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to tell you that.
Yeah, Dick
He's
is
awesome.
great. I love Dick. Dick is great. Dick is good. Sometimes Dick's hard to get a hold of.
I never have that problem. He gets right back to me.
He's a slippery guy. But anyway,
back to what you were talking about.
I want to start this off with some with sad news before we move into everything all happy and flowery and Edemus the Natamus. Unfortunately, we did get some bad news the past couple days. And a lot of people don't realize that this guy is who he is, at least those that don't really pay attention too much to the rock scene, especially back in the day. But former Iron Maiden vocalist Paul Di'Anno died October 22nd, or I'm sorry, 21st, so yesterday, at the age of 66. Now, Paul was the original vocalist for Iron Maiden before Bruce Dickinson stepped in. And he was actually on their first two albums, Iron Maiden and The Killers, released in 1980 and then 81, respectively. But he passed away after struggling with a variety of health issues over the last few years and has actually kept performing. I know we've talked about it. Homeboy was still performing in a wheelchair.
Yes, in a wheelchair, not that long ago.
Right.
You know, and it's been so long ago, but I don't think you can diminish the influence that early Iron Maiden had on, you know, the big wave of British heavy metal that we got in the late 70s and early 80s. You know, Iron Maiden was right there at the forefront of that with Paul Di'Anno fronting that band. And the first record was great. The second record picked up even better because they got better production. And, you know, it just sounded better. But very influential. You know, I don't know all the circumstances of why he wasn't in Iron Maiden after that, but it really doesn't matter. He was there. He recorded those two records, and there are people, believe it or not, that will tell you that Iron Maiden wasn't the same after he left.
Right.
We're talking two records, and how many has Iron Maiden put out after? Right,
the 43.
Right. So there's people that are so into those first two records he did that yeah, that's all they care about. It's not as good.
Right.
So very influential.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, you're talking about influences. Anthrax put out I guess a thank you. They put out a message on their social media where they are saddened to hear about the passing of Paul, the original singer of Iron Maiden. They go on and talk about different things, but one of the things that goes right along with what you were saying was this: our thoughts go out to his family, friends, and all who were influenced by his powerful voice and larger than life presence. They told him to rest in peace, and his music will live on forever. But there's been a ton of artists that come out. Obviously, Iron Maiden came out, and you know they put their comments out. Slash has stepped in there and said something. Exodus, you know, for those that remember that band. Dave Ellefson, that used to be in Megadeth. I mean, Homeboy was, you know, it was a big influence on people. And it shows.
Gary Holmes for Exodus, right? Yeah, I think it's Gary Holmes. Just this week, well, the day he passed, made some very nice comments about Di'Anno and how influential he was. I believe, I think he even saw him early on in his career in New Jersey at one of the first shows that they played. I believe, I want to say Joe Perry Project was opening that night, which is an odd thing,
yeah,
you know, to think about. But yeah, they were so big even at that point. So yeah, very influential. Obviously, Paul Di'Anno is a different singer than Dickinson. So if you're expecting to hear that operatic voice with this unlimited range, you're not going to get that out of Paul.
Right.
But you're getting more street style of singing, more of a bratty, snarly British type of sound.
Yeah, bratty, I think, was a great term to use for that. Absolutely. Unfortunately, he just kind of falls in line with a growing list, unfortunately, of lead singers, you know, vocalists that we've lost this year, including, you know, C.J. Perry, Jack Russell, or I'm sorry, C.J. Snare, Jack Russell. I mean, it sucks. But you know, it's October, so the end of the year is almost here. If that helps.
Right. And with Paul, it's no surprise. I mean, he's had a variety of ailments. I believe he was even diabetic. I think he was. You mentioned the wheelchair. I think he had a leg amputated.
I think you're right.
If I recall. So he's had a rough go of it. He had to have some of his health care taken care of in other places because he couldn't afford to do it in the U.S. or in England.
Right.
And so,
which is pathetic in its own, but that's for another show. That's another episode that our dear friend, whatever his name was, I don't even remember now, Mr. Derek Palmer.
Is going to get. Paul Diano will be brought up in a little bit when we discuss another subject. I've already got my notes down, ready.
Exactly. Someone moving on to a different type of news for someone who dodged death's door in the past week. Jakey Lee. We talked about this last week while he was walking his dog, very rock and roll. It ends up getting shot. Well, more information has come out about this, and it's straight from Jakey Lee himself, who has finally explained the circumstances behind the shooting that took place. To give you a little bit of a refresher, Jakey Lee, the guitarist, you've known him from Ozzy, from Badlands, from all kinds of other crap. I meant crap in a very good way. He was walking his dog late at night near his home in Vegas, where he was shot 3 times in what was first described as a random attack. But wait, there's more. Not so random when you're the one. Anyway, I'll get to that in a second. He previously said that the shooter had emptied his clip and 15 shells had been found at the scene. I know, I hate that word. Knowing that he could only dodge so many. So 1 bullet went through his forearm, 1 through his foot, and 1 through his back, which ended up breaking a rib and damaged a lung. In a new update, Jakey Lee, of course, thanked fans for their continued concern and reported he was out of the hospital and recuperating at home while expressing gratitude to the medical staff who'd cared for him. This is where he goes on to explain a little bit more of what happened and also named his dog. According to Jakey Lee, very non-rock and roll dog, walking home from our walk, Coco and I'm going to give that one a second to sink in.
He did not name the dog, by the way.
No, but he named it in this statement. Coco, the dog, and I, Jakey Lee, crossed paths with a couple of thieves. They were dressed darkly, wearing hoodies pulled down their faces with masks covering their mouth. They were standing in a neighbor's driveway checking out the neighbor's motorcycle. The very rock and roll thing of a verbal confrontation happened, which ended with an agreement that him and Coco would walk one way and they would walk the other. The only problem is that it just didn't work out that way. He doesn't give any more details because, he's still dealing with the trauma, the PTSD after it. He actually states, I'll probably talk in more detail about it later, but right now I can only comfortably do a little at a time. I don't doubt it. You run into a couple people and they're like, hey, I'm going to go this way. You guys just, go on. Only to find out they were his huckleberry.
15 rounds.
Yeah, they emptied the clip.
The magazine.
That's a clip.
Go on, I don't mean to interrupt. It's not.
He is expected to make a full recovery. And of course, he was a member of Ozzy Osbourne's band in the mid 80s. He was on the 83 album Bark at the Moon and 86's The Ultimate Sin. He was shot at around 2:40 a.m. on October 15th. Of course, like we said last week, we wish nothing but the best for Jakey Lee and Coco, who it has been confirmed was unharmed.
Correct.
And according to what I'm looking at, this photo, I believe Coco is some kind of maybe a bull terrier. I don't know. I can't quite tell. Let me see. I'm going to see if it's hashtagged. Yeah, no. This is Jakey Lee's Facebook page. Yeah, it doesn't say blah, 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 blah. No, but he provides a cute picture of Coco. I don't know if I can save it and put it up there. And you know what? I'm not. I'm just not. It's a dog. It's a cute dog. It is not a fluffy poodle like I expected.
That's what I expected.
It was not.
But, you know, when we talked about this last week, the whole thing sounded like it was some sort of random shooting, like a drive-by.
Or yeah, I mean, it was a walk by, is what I was thinking to begin with in the neighborhood.
You know, but I mean, a lot of times these things don't just happen in a vacuum. You know, there are events leading up to it, and
it's hard to get everybody in a vacuum.
True, but you know, it made you wonder all week, like what really was happening here, and now we got a little more detail about, you know, Jake Ely trying to step in and maybe save someone's personal, and maybe he thought doing the right thing, maybe, and you know, now he's been shot, and it's terrible.
Yeah,
terrible.
Shot in the dark
again. We made that joke again.
Yeah, I know. It never gets old. It's a good one. Excuse me. Should have muted that.
Best wishes.
Yeah, best wishes
Jakey Lee.
To Mr. Jakey Lee. And no further comments from anybody else that are, you know, worth putting out there, you know, with all of the heartfelt thoughts that have been his way. But whatever.
Well, yeah. Look at all the nice things people said about Paul Diano.
Well, yeah, you know, and he can't even read them.
Right, you know, in his passing, and that's good. I mean, I'm glad.
Jake can still read.
Yeah.
Hey, sucks. Hope you're better. Good grief. So now brings us to what everybody's been waiting for. What we've been waiting for, you know, at least a few months now after the nominees were announced. The 2024 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, currently available on Disney Plus. That is not a plug. It's just where you can watch it. The induction ceremony happened this past weekend, and there's a lot to talk about. The show will start from the beginning without getting into tons of details yet. Saturday night, October 19th. You're thinking it. Do it.
Well, I'm just saying, first of all, this show was 5.5 hours.
Yeah.
5.5 hours.
Could you imagine?
So, well, yeah. I mean, if you're sitting there out in the audience, waiting for things to move along,
wasted.
Right. I think if you're performing or inducted or something like that, they want you there at like 6 a.m. 6 a.m. You're there all day.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Nikki Sixx wasn't available.
No, but 5.5 hours. Now, when they show this in January as a broadcast, I think they do a network broadcast of it. It'll be pared down quite a bit.
I'll guarantee it.
Yeah,
it'll be like an hour and a half.
Right. It may be better than what we saw in 5.5 hours.
Yeah, because it's been edited finally. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Saturday kicked off, and what a show it was. Of course, being kicked off by 2024 inductee Cher, who was 78 years old. I'm going to just start there. She's 78 years old. She sings like she's 68 and looks like she's 38. She still looks good. I mean, and she's going to look good standing next to Dua Lipa. who, they both did a duet of Believe. So, do you believe in life after love?
So Dua Lipa was there with her.
This is correct.
And then was Demi Lovato there as well, or did she sing with?
She did not. She did not sing. If I remember correct, she didn't sing with Cher.
No, that was later on.
Correct.
Now you're gonna have to help me because I got all my stuff turned down, so I'm just pulling from memory here.
I got you. Dua Lipa brought the audience to their feet with a rendition of Cher's Believe, and by the time the bridge came around, Cher herself emerged dressed in a leather bustier and black chaps. She helped Dua Lipa finish out the song in fabulous fashion. This is all from Billboard magazine, which I'm gonna have some issues with this in a minute, and I'll point those out. For those that wanted to see the 78-year-old icon deliver a solo performance, she made sure to give them an encore before accepting her induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, as she performed a rousing rendition of If I Could Turn Back Time to a screaming crowd. Didn't say if they were screaming for her or, stop, they'd say. But of course, Cher has had some things to say in the past about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, not getting in it, not being inducted, blah, blah, blah. Well, her acceptance speech was a continuation of that, as she said, "Oh yeah."
So it wasn't conciliatory. She hadn't come over to their side of things.
No.
Now we all see eye to eye, and we're a happy family.
No. Her statement was that it was easier getting divorced from two men than it was getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She then thanked David Geffen because he wrote a letter and sent it to the directors, and then she got in. So that was her way of saying thanks. I just share. When you get a chance, watch it. If you don't have Disney Plus, watch it when it's out on January 1st. If not, get on it. Just watch it. It's Cher. She's timeless.
That's funny.
Yeah. That was followed by Kool and the Gang, who actually reunited for a medley of their biggest hits. I love Kool and the Gang from, back in the day. I don't love Kool and the Gang for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but that's a whole nother issue. But it was a good performance. Right. Of course, they closed out their set with a banging rendition of Celebration. Everybody knows that.
Yep. I bought it on 45 when I was like 9.
Right. After Kool and the Gang, that's when we got, who did we get? Dionne Warwick. She brought out Jennifer Hudson for a rendition of I'll Never Love This Way Again. Long performance, big performance of like some of her biggest hits. Because, Dionne Warwick has either sang or helped write a tremendous amount of music. But she ended up bringing out Jennifer Hudson, who I personally think has an incredible voice, and always has since she was, brought out into the spotlight. She went back and forth over the iconic track's closing verses, and the pair brought the audience to a standing ovation by the time they were through. I agree. I won't argue with that because that's what happened. Next up, at some point, was Foreigner. Holy moly. Before we go to Foreigner, I'm going to check something else real quick and see if I'm going to see it. I'm not going to see it, but there were some others that were inducted as well, but I'll just go through. These are like some of the highlights, if you will. Demi Lovato, Kelly Clarkson, and more came out to do a big, huge, dedication, if you will, to Foreigner. Fantastic. Of course, our guy Sammy Hagar appeared for a badass rendition of Hot Blooded. Kelly Clarkson,
he killed it.
Yeah, 77 years old. We just seen him a few weeks ago or a month ago on tour, and oh my gosh, we talked last week how excited we were to see Sammy Hagar perform. and he did not disappoint.
Right, and he had Slash up there with him.
Yeah.
And then was Roger Daltrey there too?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he jumped in and sang a little bit.
It was
Hot Blooded.
Stupid. And Chad Smith was, from Red Hot Chili Peppers, was on the drums.
Right. Well, he drummed for everybody, I think.
Well, yeah, but for me, it was more impressive that he was doing it for Foreigner. But the fact that he's done it for everybody, yeah,
because Foreigner was up there, the current version that is not being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But Chad Smith was the drummer. They didn't have their regular drummer up there, as far as I could tell.
Right.
But go ahead.
Well, I was going to say Foreigner's original drummer, Dennis Elliott, he did not take part in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He just said he's not going to be there. There's a little bit of controversy. Yeah, it was like he was mad at the hall. Some are saying that that's a BS excuse, that there's other things. I don't know. But his thing was that they've been waiting for information on it for a long time. And then according to him, they just got it last night, the night before the ceremony. And it's not to his satisfaction, whatever that means. So he's staying home.
Whatever. Well, I believe the statement he made was the band is staying home. And other people jumped out and said, no, that's just him. That's just him. He doesn't talk for Lou Gramm. Mick Jones is in such ill health, he couldn't make the trip. So that was two original founding, members of Foreigner that had to stay home.
Right.
But Lou Gramm made it.
Yep.
And he came out. Love is with Kelly Clarkson. And I thought he did well. I think for his age also, we've talked about this before, does really well. Plus he's had massive strokes.
Sure.
Health problems. But Kelly Clarkson, nailed it. She can still hit the high notes. It was great. And if you noticed, a lot of these things were duets.
Oh, absolutely. They needed to be.
Correct. They needed to be because they don't want to put all that pressure on some of these older Hall of Famers to have to carry, the weight of what they've being inducted for, these great songs with these great notes and that sort of thing, and you don't want to embarrass anyone. We'll get to that. But
yes, we will.
Right. Now, and that's not saying Lou Gramm can't sing that song, because he's been on tour doing this stuff, but Kelly nailed it. She nailed it. Sammy Hagar, he doesn't need anyone to help him. I think that was just to get people included, more people.
Right.
So that part of the Foreigner stuff was well done. Well done.
Yeah, Mick Jones, who the original guitarist for Foreigner. Here's something that a lot of people may not know. Mick Jones, not only did he play guitar, but he also was a music producer. And back in the day, Sammy Hagar actually toured with Foreigner. I don't even think they were Foreigner at the time. I don't remember. But anyway, long story short, Mick Jones produced 5150 for Van Halen.
Yes.
And that's a connection that a lot of people don't understand. They've never picked that up. And that's crazy. I mean, he did more than just, 5150 for Van Halen. He's done for Bad Company, Benny King, Billy Joel. I mean, he's done a lot. But 5150, that's a lot of people absolutely love that album.
Yeah, I love that record.
Yeah, and that's a lot of good tunes come from. And I thought it was pretty cool that I wanted to mention that, because, like I said, a lot of people just they don't make that connection.
And on that note, to your point, Sammy inducted them into the Hall of Fame.
Right.
So not only did he sing Hot Blooded, but he was up there making the induction speech for Foreigner. So that connection again was brought up in there.
Yeah, with Kelly Clarkson closing out that performance in tribute with I Want to Know What Love Is. I want to hear a recorded version of that because daggone, that was good. Moving on after that, really it's Kelly Clarkson. I mean, she, honest to goodness, I think she just can't do any wrong. And thank goodness she's not playing some weird kind of dude in a Dr. Pepper commercial. You remember her partner or whatever it was on American Idol, Kelly and whatever his name was.
Yeah.
He's the one that was the little dude in the Dr. Pepper commercials.
Yes, his name.
What was Kelly Clarkson's partner's name?
Last name?
What? What'd you say?
God.
I'm gonna have to look now.
Me?
No.
His last name started with a G.
G. Yeah, that helps. Yep, that narrowed it down. That's like talking to my wife. Hey, what was that place? I don't know. It started with an R. And then it didn't work.
Look up season 1 winners of American Idol.
It doesn't matter. I'm going to move on because I'm going to run out of time, and we've just got so much still to talk to. Peter Frampton was also out there. Keith Urban really kicked some ass. Justin.
I heard it.
Ham in the chat room just popped up, and yes, it was Justin. He was Lil Sweet in the Dr. Pepper ads.
Yes.
Yeah, now you know. But yeah.
Hey, you take work where you can get it.
Yeah, when you win American Idol, and yeah, I don't know. Welcome to Dr. Pepper. Back on track now. Keith Urban and his electric guitar work did some stuff with Peter Frampton after Pearl Jam's Michael McCready declared that he belonged in the pantheon of guitar players alongside Clapton, Beck, and Jimmy Page. Peter Frampton triumphantly took to the stage to perform some of his greatest hits, kicking things off with Baby, Something's Happening. The performance's best moment, I will agree with this article, came when Keith Urban joined the legendary guitarist on stage for a guitar sparring duet to Do You Feel Like We Do. Keith Urban, for those that don't know, if you don't follow that music, that country stuff, Keith Urban is a very, very good guitarist.
Right. He's renowned for his guitar playing. I think he's another one of those guys that got into country music just to get on the radio because their real passion is more rock edge.
Right.
He's one of those guys.
Yeah. After that, we had the tribute to Jimmy Buffett. Dave Matthews took part in that, and he gave a star-studded, teary-eyed performance. I don't even know who Dave Matthews is, but he did. But apparently he's a band, and he was also in the Hall of Fame, but whatever.
Right.
Yeah. I want to get to something you sent to me earlier. Actually, I think you sent it yesterday. You'll know because it came from, who did this come from? Eddie Trunk. That might shake your brain a little bit. I'm gonna talk about that here in just a minute. Let's get to the other ones. Of course,
that's my notes.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle. Perfect. Dave Chappelle delivered an impassioned speech honoring a tribe called Quest. Their impact on music. Dave Chappelle gave that. I did not watch that portion of it, so I am literally just finding out about this through the through the article. I'm gonna have to rewatch it just so I can. Of course, The Roots, Busta Rhymes, Common, De La Soul, Queen Latifah blasted off for their performances for a tribe called Quest. That's quite the lineup. For me, it's pretty big when you see Busta Rhymes, Queen Latifah, and De La Soul. Whatever songs they had when you were growing up in the 80s and 90s. I mean, that was it. So congrats to them. Yeah. Mary J. Blige stops the show. She had a greatest hits medley. Mary J. Blige is a huge impact on not just P. Diddy, but also on the world of music. Lots of stuff there. I'm just kind of rolling through this because I want to get to the night's most important part, and that was the induction for the second time, first time as a solo artist, of Ozzy Osbourne. Jack Black gave the induction speech.
Right.
It was all right. It was very Jack Blackish, in my opinion. But Ozzy, holy freaking cow. It's Ozzy. I mean, what more can you really say other than the fact that it's Ozzy?
Well,
other than the performances.
It's well deserved, and they've had 20 years to do it, and now we've had to watch Ozzy see a tribute to him while sitting on the side of the stage in a wheelchair or a chair. So yeah, he could have 10 years ago maybe even sang a song, but we're not there. We're there now. So
yeah. Ozzy's speech was very straight to the point, very short for a metal artist, but he made it. He wanted it that way. He refused to bore the crowd with a long, drawn-out effing monologue. Of course, they cut the cameras to his daughter and Jack, and what's left of Sharon. Wow, that is really all I can say when I saw her. Was wow.
I didn't see it.
Oh, please look it up. Yeah, there was a tribute beyond of all tributes for Ozzy, with some huge names in the world of rock. That started with Maynard James Keenan and Wolfgang Van Halen performing Crazy Train. First off,
right.
Maynard James Keenan is going to sing Crazy Train? What?
So what are your thoughts on that?
I do not have a problem with Maynard James Keenan. No. It's Crazy Train. It may not have been the song for him, but if that's the song he chose to sing, whatever. When he's got Chad Smith drumming, he's got freaking Wolfgang Van Halen playing guitar, and Robert Trujillo playing bass. Maynard James Keenan can sing what he wants. Whatever. His music scares me anyway.
I think he did all right. I think it wasn't. I just don't think it's a song for him.
No.
But if you want to be, you want to take part in the tribute, and you were asked to do it,
what are you going to do? Say no?
Right. What are you going to do? I mean, you could have asked a lot of people that were more relevant to Ozzy's era to come up there and pay tribute.
Sure.
But the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame likes to get people that they deem to be cool and in the moment. And Tool is a very large band, a big band, very popular.
Yeah.
That goes right along with Jelly Roll, who performed.
Yeah.
Jelly Roll is the performer du jour, and we got to see him. And again,
pushed mute.
I think Jelly Roll is very talented. I think he's got a great voice. I don't think him performing "Mama, I'm Coming Home" was the song he should have been singing.
Absolutely not.
Because through the verses, he was okay, but the chorus was hard. For him. And I told my wife this when I watched it. I was telling her about watching these performances that these guys couldn't even get up. Not that they're bad. I'm not picking on anyone, but they couldn't get up to the standard that Ozzy had set vocally on that stuff because his voice is pretty high. It always has been. It's not so much on the solo stuff, but it's up there, and you got to get the right person to do that. But
Jelly wasn't
like
the right person, in my opinion.
No, no, and again, is he going to say no? No,
Right.
he's not going to say no.
No,
but there could have been a lot of people that actually know Ozzy Osbourne, toured with Ozzy Osbourne, and could have done this.
I got one.
Yeah,
which
okay.
I'll fill that one in a minute. But following the Jelly Roll conspiracy, No More Tears with a surprise, guest appearance, whatever you want to call it, with Zach freaking Wild. Holy crap, badass.
Yeah.
Which I know that wasn't really the surprise. The big surprise was Billy Idol was your singer.
Yeah. That was cool, though, to get Billy Idol out there.
Was it? Was it really?
Well, because it's Billy Idol. But
for the nostalgia,
again,
sure.
But again, vocally, he's not there. He's not that he's a bad singer. It's not his style.
No.
It's not how he sings.
No. It is wrong to have him sing No More Tears when I'm crying when I'm listening to it. Okay, it may not have been that bad, but it just wasn't his song. But they finish the song up. They get to the solo, and Zach Wild shreds it.
Yes, tears it up.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
Who's the one that the guitar player? He was with Ozzy for a bit. I can't think of his name at the moment, but
Jakey Lee.
No. He did Crazy Train, much more currently, but he was a little off. He was a little off.
I'm going to pull a picture up for those that are watching. So this is the first picture I'm pulling up, and this is kind of backstage where you can see Robert Trujillo, Zach Wild, Maynard, Billy Idol, Ozzy, Jelly Rolls in there, and of course Steve Stevens, who is the guitarist for Billy Idol, who also did the solo album for Vince Neil. They're in there. This is more of a here's a really badass picture. This has also got Chad Smith in it. And Wolfgang. Look at this freaking, that's like the snot right there.
So for those that can't see it, and you're listening, Ozzy is at the center of this picture, surrounded by the people we had already named, but he's sitting on the this throne that looks like something out of Game of Thrones. It's pretty badass.
Yeah, this is the this picture is actually the one that we put up on social media. Looks very professional taken. But man, that's almost a who's who of people that have done stuff with Ozzy. I mean, you are missing Jakey Lee, you're missing, the rest of Sabbath and everything. But think about this. This is his solo stuff. This isn't about Sabbath. It was about all of his solo stuff. It was fantastic. It was great. It was wonderful seeing Ozzy. Dave Matthews ended up closing out the ceremony. Dave Matthews Band was inducted as well. There was a jam session. Julia Roberts is who inducted Dave Matthews. Weird. I don't know. Pretty woman, but still. Burning Down the House, that song was the song that was played at the end of the show by Dave Matthews Band to close it out. That was in honor of Stop Making Sense's 40th anniversary. Great show, all in all. Highly recommend you watch it. But if you have to hit mute a couple times, it's okay. I did.
Now, when this comes out later in the edited version, those spots we're talking about will be sweetened up a little bit. They'll be either enhanced, or they'll have people come back in and maybe sing a part over, like you would do a live record.
Probably.
So it'll look and sound a lot better later when it comes out for the major broadcasts that they do. But,
yeah, because it's going to be on the ABC. I mean, you get on there now, or you jump on YouTube, you're going to see the raw stuff. Yeah, it'll be
right, which is great.
Polished.
Because what we're and we're making we're talking about some of these performances being a little but that's not to say that we don't expect that to happen in a live setting.
Absolutely.
We've talked about on the show a lot about how much we like the live stuff, the live music. I think the mistake is you're picking people to sing this stuff that it's not what they normally sing.
Right.
You're not picking the right people, and I think in some.
I don't know what you thought, but you completely froze, and now you're not thinking. There we go.
Makes sense. And I don't know if you can hear me now because I am frozen, but
you're froze, but I can hear you. I don't even know if you can hear me since you're froze. Well, since Ace is froze and we're running out of time, we're just going to let it go. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week. And yeah, sorry for the technical difficulties, but Ace really needs to work on his Wi-Fi. I'm going to bring him back just real quick, bring him back.
Okay, where was I?
You were saying goodbye.
So what I was saying is...
No, you were saying goodbye.
Is it time?
It's past time.
I have so much to say.
Say bye, Ace.
I have so much to say.